A very good evening to everyone present here and welcome back to Cricket Analysis by CNE. This is the final day review of the second test match held between England and India, and this test has been completely action-packed and maybe one-sided as well. Joining me is again my usual suspect, my brother and my from another mother. It's Proneet Ghatak with me. Vedant is again missing today. Proneet, do you think that Vedant doesn't like this thing anymore?
I think Vedant is just unhappy that England did not win.
I, I don't know. It may be one of those two things. It's very shocking that he has not been present here today as well. I
Yes.
feel like he's quite bummed as well to not being able to criticize Gigi. But at the end of the day, it's if you didn't know, some drum rolls in front of you as India have won the second test match, and this is great news for cricket because it's 1-1. How do you feel the team India will feel right now, Proneet, after winning this sort of match and being quite dominant at it?
Yes, the confidence will increase a lot. The momentum they needed with this match, they have got the momentum, I feel, and with the next test match starting in the next 3 days. So I feel India will carry their momentum with them that they had in these 5 days, and it will help. It
Yeah,
will help them a lot in this series. In the
yeah,
series,
yeah.
I feel the second test match, India will have an upper hand again. With the confidence, they will
Mhm.
go to Lords.
Yeah. And especially talking about how this was the first ever match at Edgbaston that India have ever won. And not just India, it is the first Asian country to win at Edgbaston. So
Yes,
it's a remarkable feat for such a young team facing against a very daunting England side who used a very formidable approach called the Bazball in this whole series. So a lot of things to look forward to as we go on to our favorite session by session segment of day five. Not a lot to say, Praneeth. India have completely dominated the whole match. They have won perhaps almost all sessions, perhaps except three, which really shows that there was no chance for England from start. It was really a complete dominant performance, and this may shatter England's hopes as well because it's not a long time since they can recover from this. Because as you have said, it's only 3 days till the next match is played. So a lot of things that play inside their minds right now because as you can see, they were a team that chased down any total and they haven't been humiliated like this, I feel like, because
yes.
it was a complete humiliation. So it has been a complete dominant match for India. And I want to ask a question to you, Proneet. What do you think before coming into the day? Let's go behind the time a bit. When you're coming to the day, you have full advantage in your hands, where England need around 500 odd, and you need just 7 wickets. But the catch is that you haven't won a Test match since November, having played more than 5 Test matches. So, How do you feel Shubman Gill and his management have thought about this whole thing?
No, I feel coming to day five, being in such a dominant position, I think they were not thinking about what happened in the past. They were determined to take the 7 wickets that were required today. And
Hmm.
from the start, they had planned to go for the kill. They never planned to take a back step. They were always setting up attacking fields. Akashdeep, especially Akashdeep, bowled a lot today. Shubman Gill used Akashdeep a lot because among all the bowlers that they had, Akashdeep was the one who was always going for the wickets, for hitting the wickets. His line is always there. So I feel with that line, using Akashdeep more to trouble the batsman worked in their favor. 100%. And Prasidh Krishna improved a lot in the second innings. His bowling,
Yeah.
his line lengths, everything. So that helped. He started today. He was in the first spell with Akashdeep. Siraj came in as the
Mhm.
first change bowler. So I feel everybody showed their skills today. Even I appreciate Mohammad Siraj for showcasing his leadership skills as a senior, leading the bowling
Mhm.
attack. So I feel it was a complete teamwork coming into this game. I think records are just for show because it's the team that has made the records break. And as we say, "Toota hai Edgbaston ka ghumand." So first match winning at Edgbaston, big feat. So just the confidence is there. That's it.
It was an all-round performance from India throughout, and it didn't seem like one moment that India were at any place to lose the match at all. And be it a draw as well. I feel like in the last day when there was some rain in the forecast, where 1 hour of the day was delayed, then only people would have thought that, wait a minute, was the declaration too late? Was the declaration a bit more long than one would have thought? But at the end of the day, it all worked out, and it was a complete dominant performance. It did not even look like when England were batting, we would have any chance to play for a draw. Talking about Ben Stokes, talking about Jamie Smith, they played well, but it wasn't enough to suppose play out the whole day. So we're going to talk about it bit by bit. We're going to talk about specific topics as well as we move on to the next topic as we see the batting innings of England. I have an interesting stat for you, Proneet. England have scored around 700 runs, or suppose 678 runs, because they have scored 407 runs in the first innings. Out of the 678 runs, 453 runs have been scored by just Jamie Smith and Harry Brook. The rest, 225, has been scored by the other 20 batsmen. The four batsmen were there. So other 18 batsmen who came on to bat. So 18 wickets have been scored for just for 225 runs. This was an indication, Proni, that it was a complete all-round dominant position. And for India, they had no chance. England had no chance because cricket is a team game at the end of the day. And if you think about, if two people are only scoring in the whole match, then you cannot win. You cannot even deserve to win a match where you have only one player who's playing consistently. You need a whole team to play consistently, as you can see for India, by the way. So we'll talk about more about this, where we go on to Akash Deep, starting of the day when the rain forecast came. How do you think he bowled, Proneet, and how does he find this kind of how does he find a flat wicket turning into a bowling paradise?
Oh, I feel in a wicket where there's no swing, no movement, nothing. I feel it's pure skill from Akash Deep. I feel the practice that he has had. I think even in Australia he played the India A games. I don't remember it exactly, but he played the India A games, I think. So he has got this practice staying with the Indian team a lot, and his bowling length, line and length, Akash Deep, and it's beauty. It's a treat for the eyes. He keeps the
Hmm.
ball there, always attacking the stumps. And I feel the difference between Joe Root's wicket and the other wickets, other bold wickets rather, like if you talk about Ollie Pope or other bold wickets that he scored, I think against even Ben Duckett, all the balls were going straight. Sorry, and a bit they were nipping back in, a bit. But suddenly there was Joe Root's wicket that did not nip back in. Joe Root he was expecting a ball to nip back in a bit, but it went straight. It went straight to
Hmm.
hit the stumps. So I think it's just class from Akashdeep for maintaining this bowling line and length. Today, even after a delay of about an hour, he came first spell, second over, I think. He got Ollie Pope. So
Yeah.
it's just that consistency that he has had with the team.
it is it is a commendable performance by Akash Deep, and you're talking about just him being unstoppable. He had the mic drop moment of the day. Just have a mic drop, because it was really a moment where you found that when Akash Deep was coming to bowl, he was going to take a wicket, and it brings me a resemblance of Jasprit Bumrah as well, because whenever he bowls as well, there is a wicket coming. So
Yes.
it will be very I will be very excited to watch Akash Deep and suppose Jasprit Bumrah bowl in tandem.
The opening
Um,
spell.
I,
Oh my God.
maybe Akash Deep can take the opening spell,
No,
and
I
Siraj
feel
suppose
this was an
can be in
indication.
first
The
stage.
second innings was an indication that Siraj can be brought in as a first change bowler, and Akashdeep and Bumrah can be the first spell bowlers in the next test match.
Yeah, it will be a tough decision, to be honest, because Siraj is also the leader of an attack. He's an experienced campaigner, so it will be tough for the management to think about whether Siraj or Akarthi will bowl first spell. But it's not a topic for us to talk about today. It's to be talked about in preview. But Akash Deep, it's a spirited attack for sure. And we talk about Mohammad Siraj being a person who gives it his all. He has his heart on his sleeve, but Akash Deep too has that kind of trait. I feel like
Yes.
because whenever he comes, he strides in, and he never looked like he was going to get bashed. Even though suppose he got hit for three, four boundaries at starters for suppose Ben Duckett or by any other batsman, he kept going at it and he was continuously attacking. And I felt like this can be the perfect antidote for Bazball because for Bazball, their motto is to attack and then make the opponent defensive. But if the opponent is not being defensive, then you can create problems for them. And Akash Deep has done exactly that. So it's commendable stuff for him. But I have a meme in front of you, Proneet, and where there's a statement in an X I saw where babe, wake up, there's a new Jennings LBW by Bumrah just dropped. Where Harry Brook was just pinned to his stumps. It felt like he couldn't even play the ball because the ball nipped back in so much that he had no response. How do you judge that, Proneet? And before letting you complete the answer, Harry Brook said yesterday that everybody knows
I
that we
was
are going
going
to
to
try
start
and
with
chase
that. I
whatever
actually
total
was
they've
going to
set.
start with that.
Quite ironical, isn't it?
They wanted to chase. They wanted to chase the total they got. So they came into day five chasing 608 with 7 wickets in hand. So I feel,
Oh
simple
God.
bowlers, very easy to face. Akash Deep, Mohammad Siraj, who are they? Simple bowlers, nothing much. So Harry Brook is
Nothing,
Bradman.
nothing, no, there, nothing.
So yeah, that's
Bradman has
ironical.
stats. Yeah, and we had more English comments as well before the match and even during the match because Graham Swan said that the Indian series is a perfect warm up for the Ashes for England. So how ironic is that being completely thrashed apart in the second test, where in a place where you haven't lost to India? Shameful, isn't it?
No, you should have mentioned the banter between Wasim Jaffer and Michael Vaughan as well. Michael Vaughan, after winning the first test match, he predicted a 4-0. And then he predicted a
Yeah, yeah.
3-1. Then
Hmm,
Wasim
hmm.
Jaffer posted a couple of hours ago, that we all know what happens when Michael Vaughan predicts 3-1 or a 4-0 loss for India.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Wasim Jaffer and the banter he has with Michael Vaughan as well. It's a legendary banter on Twitter or X, as one might say. But we have another meme as well where someone in Aditya Saha on X thought about predicted it completely that waiting for that surprise reaction from Stokes after he gets dismissed, and it's an exact picture of Ben Stokes completely baffled after seeing the ball hit the pad first, as if it was quantum physics that it was possible. Yeah, some shameful
Loving
things for
these
England.
reactions from Ben Stokes. Loving these reactions.
Yeah, I used to think about Kohli as well. He used to give sort of reactions as well when he got out in these sort of
Yeah,
deliveries. But I mean, role models, right? Because Virat Kohli also said that
yeah.
his role model is Ben Stokes. So might be there can be some kind of resemblance right there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, no,
some
just
banter.
want to say, you can take Virat Kohli out of Test cricket, but not the Test cricket out of Virat Kohli.
Exactly. Exactly the point because so much of resemblance here. We have to talk about resilience versus patience. Ben Stokes tried to be a bit resilient in nature because he tried to stay in his ground, Proneet, where he scored 33 of about 72 deliveries. So it really showed that Ben Stokes wasn't trying to hit at all. He was trying to be patient and he was trying to play the day out because at the end of the day, it was quite impossible for England to chase that sort of target. Maybe if they started well in the morning, maybe they could have thought that, oh wow, maybe we can hit them for sixes and then try and
Yeah.
get close to the target. But since that was not possible, Ben Stokes was completely batting his bat down. And what I liked from India is that they were being patient. It was not like that India were trying to bowl wicket deliveries. They were being completely patient and they were being bowling consistent lines. That is the most important part about Test cricket and in flat pitches in general. When you're being consistent in lines, you know that you'll get success. And that's what Washington Sundar has done, and the other bowlers who have indirectly participated in the wicket as well, because they haven't let Ben Stokes get away with anything, and they haven't let Ben Stokes be comfortable as well. So that was the reason why it was resilience versus patience, and patience always wins. Because you might be resilient at start, but if you're patient with it and you don't lose your temper, or if you don't lose your calm and composed self, then the patience is virtue. So it's really that kind of a figure that Ben Stokes had. The battle between Ben Stokes and India was even Jamie Smith as well. He was playing his natural game. To be honest, I feel like Jamie Smith was not trying to chase the target. It was just trying to play his natural game because the game was long gone. But he played it well as well, because the form that uh, he is in, I feel like he can be a big threat for India in the whole series as well, not just this match. So quite exciting to see how that plays out. Also, there's another stat for the this match as well, that the complete aggregate of runs that the wicket keepers of both sides made is the
Hmm.
most by any in the history of the Test cricket. So Rishabh Pant and Jamie Smith have got that stat, and I think has completely uplifted the reputation for wicket keepers as batsmen as well, because that has exactly happened. Rishabh Pant has scored a 50 if I'm not wrong, and a 30 or something, but Jamie Smith has scored bulk of the runs, of course, where he has scored a 184 and BT and an 88. So
Yeah.
yeah, so interesting stat. We go on and move on to even more memes, as we can see that the English batters were completely scared of Jasprit Bumrah before coming into the series, but they forgot the real threat of Akash Deep and Siraj standing right behind. Uh, I think it's a perfect display of how the Test match went, to be honest, because the most of the wickets were taken by Akash Deep and Siraj, and England really thought that without Jasprit Bumrah, this is a weekend bowling attack, but it was not the case. Akash Deep and Siraj completely beautifully played the positions out, and he it didn't feel like they were missing Jasprit Bumrah, because
Yeah.
really they have filled the places up. And taking 20 wickets, we have always talked about in the preview with our fellow panelist Vedant as well. 20 wickets is the main goal, and Vedant was cryptic about the thing that maybe India being a bit defensive in nature, where they are not going for 20 wickets but to contain runs. But this match has really sealed the deal, because it was really shown that India were going for 20 wickets, and Akash Deep and Siraj led the bowling attack really well. Talking
Yeah.
about Jamie Smith, Proneet, this the second meme really talks about how the English batters performed. I mean, yeah, what do you think is the case? Because for Jamie Smith, this pitch was really a flat track, and for the whole England lineup as well. But what about the rest of the English batsmen, Proneet?
Yeah, if you want me to talk about English batsmen, it will take a whole video of some 1 hour or 2 hours. So yeah, we all know at the end of the day in the whole English batting lineup, if you want to, at least the next best thing after a win is a draw for any team. So even while chasing 608 runs, you know that in the whole batting lineup of England, there is only one batsman who has a solid defense. That is Joe Root. That is Joe Root. And once Joe Root got dismissed in a chase of 608, there was no, I think that was the end of all hopes for England to even get a draw. And with the form that Jamie Smith was in, it was expected from him that he would give a fight. So that's what he gave. I mean, he's in excellent form, and he can be a threat for India, as you mentioned earlier. Also, commenting on Indian bowlers, I really want to say that Jadeja really went
Mhm.
underrated. Not only in this test
Yeah.
match, but in both the test matches. His bowling was really underrated, I feel, because the turn
Mhm.
he was getting in the fourth innings, also maintaining his lines in the second innings. So it was really
Mhm.
commendable from Jadeja to maintain his lines and lengths even after not getting enough wickets. So
Yeah.
overall, I think it was the immaturity, I would say, of the English batters, that they could not play at least for a draw. So that could have been expected from a test playing nation. For over 150 years, they've been playing test cricket. So it was expected from them at least.
Yeah, and chasing a sort of 600 total, you know that reasonably that is not possible. And
Yeah.
talking about how England didn't want to play for a draw even on the last day where they were chasing 536, it seemed a bit irrational in nature, because I feel like Test cricket works both ways. Yes, you want results. Yes, you want to win. But I feel like playing for the win and then losing and throwing away a complete drawn opportunity is different. And I feel like England lost the plot there a bit, because I feel like if they played on for a draw, this could have been a much more interesting day. And to be honest, to be fair on them as well, the wickets that they got bowled at or they got out in, they were tremendous deliveries. It wasn't like it was easy delivery that they tried to put it out and got out. I feel like that was a bit more certain in the first innings. But in the second innings, when there's a fourth innings chase, I feel like the pitch was doing much more than actually precedented for a flat pitch, to be honest. And especially when the pitch is not crumbling as much, it was very important for them to stick. But they got out to tremendous deliveries. So quite a disappointing loss for England, because it was a complete thrashing, because they lost almost all sessions. So it was, and throughout 5 days, if you lose almost all sessions, it really gives you it takes you back, because you cannot. It's as an English side, as a competing English side at home, it's really tough for them to. It's a tough pill to swallow for them. So, and the reason that has happened was Akash Deep, who got his maiden 10 for. Proneet, this spell by Akash Deep and this match by Akash Deep. Of course, Siraj got a 7 for. If not, he got a 7 for. But Akash Deep in the first innings and in the second innings, both innings, he looked unplayable. And how he completely made sure that India go without any trouble at all was completely mature of him. And this shows why domestic cricket at the end of the day is
Yes,
supreme, because
definitely.
he he played so much domestic cricket, and I think he has played so much in flat tracks in India. In India there's not a lot of help for pacers, because it's usually a spin friendly pitch or a flat track to be playing with. Only a few pitches in India are pacer friendly given the conditions. So for him to be there, I feel like it backfired on England that they will make flat tracks, because Akashdeep was built on those flat tracks, and he really showed why he was built on those flat tracks, because he completely took the English batsmen for cleaners, and that's why he deserved the maiden 10 for.
I have a stat for you. Two stats
Hmm.
rather, and I have one thing to ask from you as well. Two stats
Yeah,
are number one. This win, India won the match by 336 runs. So
yeah,
this was the highest margin of victory for India in away test matches. Number one. And
ever.
second, yes.
Oh my
It is
God,
given. This is the highest margin of win for India in away tests. The second was against West Indies in 2019, 318 runs. This was the highest. And
my God.
second stat, Akashdeep's 10 for at Edgbaston is the second 10 for after Chetan Sharma by an Indian, 10 for by an Indian after
Oh
Chetan
my
Sharma
God.
at Edgbaston in 1987. So
Damn.
these are some mad statistics I feel. And second, I really want to ask this from you that the session chart. I feel I will also dig into facts. You also dig in that. Has there been any match that lasted for 5 days and a team has won 11 sessions? So I really want out of the 15 sessions. So I don't know if
Uh,
this has ever happened or not.
I am not aware of that, and if that has never been happened, I think it's shameful for England. It's going downhill for England the more stats we share, because one, losing at a biggest margin in SINA countries by an Asian country. Ugh, I have no words for that, because it's the English side, and it's not like it's a weak English side that everyone thought of. I'm saying grain songs words only. It's a warm up for Ashes, and
Warm
from there
up, yeah,
and in that warm up you lose quite embarrassingly. It's it's laughable, to be honest. And
yeah.
if that is so, that 11 sessions have been won by a team and they have played all 5 days for it.
Last session is not even counted if you consider.
Not The last session wasn't even played, so it's. I mean, it could have been 12. I mean,
Yeah,
as it went on, it could have been 12. Who knows? So yeah, it's really embarrassing. It's an embarrassing defeat for England, and we'll show even more so why as we go on to the bowling scorecard, where every bowler contributed. Akash Deep, of course, we have talked about him getting 6 for 99. Prasidh Krishna has bowled very well after a long time, I feel like, because he really bowled in consistent lengths for once, and I feel like he's learning as a bowler. So this shows that if he is learning as a bowler, he deserves to be in the squad, if not the 11, because Bumrah is coming back in the next 11, and Akash Deep cannot be dropped. So yeah, Prasidh Krishna will bow out, but I feel like this is a good learning curve for Prasidh Krishna because he's learning. He's understanding that consistent lengths are important, and that's what he has delivered today. He has maintained the pressure on the English batsman and hence the results. So it's every bowler has an indirect influence on every other bowler as well. That's teamwork. We're going to talk about the spinners as well because Jadeja and Sundar bowled very well for the 21 overs. Jadeja in the last, especially, he tantalized the tail. He deserved another wicket. I feel like he deserved two, three more wickets because
Yes,
the
exactly.
way he was using the rough and the way he was making the English batsman uncomfortable, it's quite skillful in nature. We are used to seeing Jadeja like this for a long period of time, where uses the pitch so well and he's very consistent at it. But it's rare. You won't find that, suppose, like a Bashir doing it, because it requires experience and it requires consistency, and that's why Jadeja is a legend, because he made that kind of impact, and he made the batsman make mistakes, and he used the pitch quite well. In day 5, where this ball was spinning on the rough, he completely used the opportunity he had and completely converted it to a big contribution, I feel like. And Sundar, of course, Sundar took the solitary wicket of Ben Stokes, which was very important because he's known for the knack of clutching and maybe not, if not a winning cause, maybe at a drawn cause, because that would be a
Yes.
famous draw if England pulled that out. So very important from him as so no other words for them. So continuing on, we'll go on to other memes as well, where you've talked about Wasim Jaffer and the 4-0 prediction. There you go. There is the meme. Proneet, your prediction was entirely correct. It's like magic, right, Proneet? That it really ends up. That was the exact thing Proneet was talking about. Wasim Jaffer and Michael Vaughan's complete banter, where Michael Vaughan thought of 4-0 for England, but we can see Gautam Gambhir ringing that bell. Does that does that mean anything in Hindi, Proneet?
I think baja to diya bhai.
Ghanta, Ghanta, Ghanta 4-0. That's the exact
Ganta
meaning
bhai,
with Gautam
ganta.
Gambhir, the head coach. Because even though how we can criticize Gambhir for his coaching department, well, he has some records and we can't deny that. He is the
Yes.
first coach to break Edgbaston's ground. So, yeah. And this is another meme. I think this will require some context. Mohammad Siraj took a complete screamer at mid wicket around for Bryden Cast. I feel like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
for Bryden Cast. Then in the next over himself, he completely misjudged the catch and he dropped it like it was an easy catch, but then he misjudged it completely, and then he was sitting there and
DSP on duty. DSP on duty.
and DSP on duty, and Siraj was sitting there quite cute, quite quickly, as mentioned by Silly Point. So it was quite a funny instance where it's the game of cricket. Cricket can completely change in one over, where in one you take a complete screamer and in the other one you drop a pretty simple catch otherwise. So it's a game of cricket, and that's why the cricket is so loved because it's a wonderful game, and how it shapes up to be unpredictable in nature, that's what gives its excitement. And especially that happens in test cricket, where matches can turn around in an instant. The momentum can be shifted quite quickly, and that's what the meme showcases. We have another thing for you, fun fact for you, Proneet. Bashir read backwards is Rishabh, Proneet. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence?
Well, it's definitely bats here and there. So Bashir, I think he should not bowl in front of Rishabh anymore because he will just get bashed for some 15, 10, 12 balls, and then he will eventually take Rishabh Pant's wicket. He will eventually take his wicket, but after a lot of damage is done.
Yeah, and quite a coincidence that Bashi's the name read backward is Rishabh. I feel like it's going to be everywhere. Rishabh Pant is going to be screaming in his ear every time, even when he reads
Yeah.
his own name on the team chart. So quite funny. Well, to wrap it up, I feel like we'll go to the session summary. We're going to talk about the whole sessions game. And Tony, all I can see there is blue with a patch of black and red. Everything is blue here from day one. Day 4 and day 5, India have completely dominated, except day 2, where they have made an equal session at session 3, where they lost their tail. Otherwise, the only two sessions England won was the Harry Brook and Jamie Smith partnership.
Yeah.
That's how one-sided this game was. It's completely blue, and 80%, almost 80% of the sessions are won by India. Only 14% by England, and only 7% was shared. This really shows the story of the whole match, because complete dominant performance, and at the end of the day, it turned out to be a complete one-sided performance as well, even after playing it out for 5 days. So it shows that how India completely capitalized on each day. They were on top each day. So yeah, that's the case right there. We were all scared that England will also score the same amount of runs, around 600 runs in the second innings, and then it will go on to a draw. But well, your prediction in the preview day, Proneet, came about right, where India won, and it has come down to 1-1. We'll go to the summary of the entire match, where India at first, oh my God, this felt like a decade ago, where India scored 587 and Gill scored that very famous 269. It felt like we were like kids when we watched that. And the top contender was also Shoaib Bashir, who got hit for 167, but
Twin
he
centuries
took
for him
three
as well.
wickets. Yeah, 2 centuries from him as well. As we go on to the England innings, where only two contributors were there and six ducks were there in the first innings of England, where England ended up with 407, trailing by 180. India replied with a complete aggressive Indian lineup and a complete antidote to Bazball, where they bashed all bowlers to the ground and said that, hey, get your own medicine. And that's what happened with the leader, of course, Shubman Gill getting a twin 100, and Bashir also getting a twin 100. And this Shubman Gill has broken record books all along. And with the chase, where England needed to chase an unbelievable 600, I don't know why Vedant and you were saying 500, 550 is quite gettable, but it really is an assurance for the bowling lineup that we can defeat England when they're chasing about 350 as well, because they couldn't cross 300. So people will think about if this is quite an what do they say? It's quite an interesting match in the sense that 370 is defendable, but the Indian bowlers showed that we can bowl them off for subpar 300, and that's what exactly happened. So no the confusions of late declaration is completely out, because I feel like declaration was made just to mess with the English minds, and that's what exactly happened. They bought wickets out of it. Indirectly, it's an indirect influence, but it was an influence at the end. So going forward, it is 1-1, and it's even Stevens as India head on to Lords as they play England there with Jasprit Bumrah set to be back. What do you feel, Tony? It's an early prediction, but what do you feel? Will India win the second? Will India win the match at Lords? Sorry, I was fumbling with my words there.
Definitely. My prediction is India will win in the Lord's Test match. They have the momentum. They can win the match.
Yep, there we have our prediction. We'll take Vedant's prediction in the next preview. But till then, it's thank you for being in the part of preview for all 5 days. And we'll look forward to you in the next preview. Till then, it's good night from us, me, Agni Brahmachari, and Proneet Ghatak.